come up with a way to totally eradicate this whole idea of rejection in sales. If it's over at hello, how the heck are you going to succeed in selling? You've got to rise above that and change your mindset.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stump The Guru. My name is Ari Gelber, your host, and I'm glad to have you all here today. We have lots of people, probably thousands all over the world, listening to this podcast every time the episode comes out on Spotify or Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. We specialize in trust-based selling, a very unique approach, which we've harnessed for the last 25 years into an art form. We have lots of folks out there who've adopted our philosophies. And this is a chance for people to come on live and ask me a thorny, complex question they might have in the back of their mind to help their business move forward. And it's a chance for them to get some new ideas, to execute, and to get some results. There are lots of folks who come back each month or come back with their results or feedback. So we love doing this show, and it helps a lot of people. And it's a nice taster for those who want to possibly step forward, either order my book. My new one, it just came out on the website there. The one is "Are You Chasing Ghosts?" That's right. We have 6 books now, and have a chat with us. But it's a good way for people to kind of understand kind of our approach, how we think, and how we're different. So today's theme, I wanted to talk about this concept of people having difficulty making decisions, difficulty moving forward in the sales process. What is that? You know, it only takes me about 30 seconds to say to you right now, I'm in. Let's do this. Why does it take your prospects one meeting, a second meeting, a third meeting to say, I'm in? And I've thought about that a long time. And that's part of what we have now, which is called our one-call sale model, to collapse the sales cycle down to one meeting. But what I understood before I invented that was that what you're battling out there right now in a commoditized market is indecisiveness. The inability for your prospects to say to you, let's do this. I want to become your client. Let's start. Indecisiveness comes from complexity. It comes from too many choices. It comes from commoditization. And most industries now have been commoditized, where the expert on the other end of the fence is being shopped by their prospects because everybody has one of them already, or they're making a change, but it's not new. And when it's not new, what happens is prospects feel like they're in shopping mode. They got to shop you against somebody else, and they have their quote own process for how they make decisions. Now, the irony of this is if you ask your prospect on your first meeting, what is your number one criteria you're going to use to choose somebody that you want to work with? They've never been asked that question before, and that forces them to tell you the truth, which usually is someone I can trust. But once you can break the pattern of indecisiveness in your sales process, and how you break it is through trust, because in one meeting, someone will say to you, I'd like to work with you as long as they can trust you. And that's the whole theme of the Stump The Guru show and theme of our approach. So if you want to learn more, grab my latest book. You'll see the bottom of the screen there. Are You Chasing Ghosts? And you can chat with us and learn more about what we do. So Steve, let's get the show going here. I know we have a few folks back there, and we have a limited amount of time. So let's see how many we can get through today.
All righty, here we go. Welcome everybody to the hot summer here in New York, where it's hotter than hell. But I'm going to bring Bill on first. Hey, Bill, how are you? If you could let everybody know a little bit about yourself, who you are, where you're from, and your question for Ari, please.
Sure. My name is Bill Haggerty. I live in California, in Northern California. Had a practice for about 30 years, insurance basically. Just kind of graduated up into financial planning as my clients aged up, asset management. And my daughter came into the business about 2 years ago, and really trying to connect more with people through Zoom and all over the country. And so we're trying to streamline the process, but make it effective and short.
Sure.
Shorten the issue. So my big question is, how do you connect with people that have good assets, they have good income, they're doing some things right, but you can see a lot of things that they're not doing right, but without kind of giving them too many answers, how do you get them to that trust level where they're saying, okay, where do I sign? I'm in. I want to work with you.
Exactly. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
and there's a two-parter. And the other one is younger generation, because my daughter's dealing with a lot younger generation, and they're kicking tires. They're the Susie Orman, the Dave Ramsey. I just need S&P 500 and a little term insurance policy, and I'm good to go. And so how do you break through that to get them to that connection level?
Well, regardless of age, human nature is the same. And most folks out there are skeptical of experts. And they are, in their mind, thinking to themselves, do I trust this person? That's shifted. Before COVID, it wasn't like that. When you met someone who's an expert, you're like, okay, you have a relationship with them and you do business with them. But things shifted now that everything's online. So your main question is, how do I break through that barrier to build trust with someone in a short amount of time in one conversation, say via Zoom, so they can feel comfortable moving forward? Because the irony of all this is they don't really care about how you solve their problem. What they care about is, are you the one to solve it or not? And so it requires letting go of a lot of the old habits and conditioning we've been used to doing, because a lot of us grew up in the know, like, and trust model. We get to know somebody, build a relationship with them first, and then over time they work with you. But there's no time to do that now. That's the challenge. So the first thing we have to do is eliminate fact finding from your first meeting. Okay. Don't ask them any facts, because then you become like a human calculator, creating inputs to create outputs, and they can tell you're not operating from the heart level, you're operating from the head level. Next thing you want to do, these are some big changes, is not to work on building a relationship with them. Now, it sounds kind of crazy and so antithetical to the entire industry, but the whole concept here is, on this meeting, you don't want to get to know them, you want to get to know their problem. It's a shift. Like when you go see a doctor, first thing he says to you is, where does it hurt? You say, my shoulder. He says, let me take a look. Looks so sore, let's get your x-rays right away and see what's going on. He gets the x-ray, says, here's a problem you've got. You got that going on, you got that going on, and you're going, oh, wow, I didn't realize that. Right.
How do you do that without asking fact questions? How do you? Because
you do it with what I call trust-based questions, not fact-finding questions. Okay. So questions that open up the entirety of their problem. So you might start your meeting with, nice to meet you as well, but no more chit-chat after that. How's the ball game? How'd you hear about us? Don't go backwards. Stay present. You say, if it's okay with you, Mike, you take a step back for a moment and walk me through your background, your situation, up to your financial concerns. Keyword, concerns, and we'll go from there. Would that be okay with you? You take your fingers like this, put over your mouth, and sit back. This will train you not to talk, because people like to talk. And it also sends a message that this meeting is not about you. They don't care about you, nothing personally. But this tells them that you're just going to listen to them. And then they open up and their brain goes right to their concerns, not bantering with you to get to know you better. Now that takes them right down what I call the iceberg. Okay. Where they can unpack that problem and go down to a level that I call COI, cost of inaction. We can help them to the impact of not solving the problem. Now there's a business case for moving them forward. That's a quick summary of what we teach in the model. Okay. And to jump real fast over to the younger folks out there, like anybody else, regardless of age, obviously they have a connection to somebody they're following, but they still need your help. And it's going to be the same process with them, regardless of the age, assuming you get them to Zoom. Now, when it comes to marketing, that's a different story. A little more, I've got a model for that too, but save that for next time, or come on, set up a time with me. We can chat more about it. Okay, Bill?
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Thank you so much. Okay. We are back to the Stump the Guru show, and great first question. Very real question that a lot of advisors are challenged with in the market right now. And because they're so used to the model of know, like, and trust, long sales cycles, free consulting, free education, but that is a commoditized approach. And you cannot do what everyone else does in your market, because usually most industries have a norm. A norm is average. You cannot be average, and they're going to hire you on your approach, not your solutions, because your solutions are commoditized. So you got to upgrade the art of your approach so it's so unique and different that they hire you just on that, because you only have one meeting to do it. All right. So Steve, what else do we have today?
All righty. We're going to bring somebody who I haven't seen in a while on. I love this guy. I'm going to bring on Marco. Oh, He was here and he left. There we go. Oh, you got him. You're looking like homeless. Like
yeah, there you go. New look.
I'm going to send you a wig of my hair, and then you're going to be ready to rock and roll. So since you've never been on the show yet, and this is your first time, just so you know, everybody comes on, they say who they are, a little bit about their back history, and then your question for Ari. So rock out, my friend.
Absolutely. Good morning. Good morning, Ari.
Hi, Marco.
Yeah, so my name is Marco. I'm a mortgage broker. I'm based in Sydney, Australia. My company is called Stars Broking Services. We've been operating for 10 years now, and we mainly focus on residential and commercial loans. Now, Ari, my question for you today is that most of our business is referred. Most of our customers come to us asking help with finance. Right. And usually they let us know that they don't have a clue about what to do, where to go in order to get their home loan. They don't know anything about grants, government schemes. And yeah, they sit down with us and they would like the whole rundown. The biggest issue I have is that from time to time, I should say the biggest issue that I have and I would like to resolve is to stop or avoid giving free consultations. So how can it's a bit of a challenge, because on one hand, you need to prove to the client that you're the best person for helping them. And at the same time, you need to provide some kind of information for them to make this assessment that you are the best person. Although at the same time, I don't want to give out too much, but I just want to eliminate or reduce the percentage of leads or
Sure.
referrals that come through that basically get a free consultation and then just disappear and vanish, never to be seen again.
So good question. Now, you do not have to prove yourself. Okay, so I want you to eliminate that from the back of your mind, that your job is to present, prove, show value, give value. Now, the perception might be that they're shopping you and you got to show them you can do the job. Now, they know what you do. You're a mortgage broker. It's not a surprise to them when they show up. They know what mortgage brokers do. You don't have to overwhelm them or show them how much better you are than anybody else. That is not the goal. The goal is for them to feel that you care about them and that their situation is so unique. You've never seen it before. It's just special. Because what might be happening is you've been doing this for 10 years now. You've done this so many times. In the back of your mind, when they come and say, here's my challenge, your system goes, easy. Done this 1,000 times. No problem. Let me show you this. Let me show you that. Let me show you this. And they feel like they're just a number. What you need to do is make them feel special and say things like, your situation is quite unique. Because you want to do this and that. And I think that you don't really fit into any boxes that we're probably used to here. But why don't we talk about your situation and let's map out a plan that would be probably best and customized to your unique circumstances. How's that sound to you, Mike? See how that feels personal, customized, not generic, and not educational? You're not educating them on things. You're building a plan with them, a roadmap for how to structure their thought process to make that decision.
Yeah.
Now you're a consultant.
I'll try this morning. My next appointment.
Yes, do it this morning. Yes, you got to shift your mindset to a doctor-patient conversation where you're the consultant and you're showing them an X-ray of their problem, and you're customizing the answer to their unique situation. You're not educating them on options. Do not give them options. Give them a plan. And we'll talk more about that one-on-one when we talk next time.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Ari. Great to see you.
Good to see you, Marco. All right, take care.
You mate.
That's a great question. It happens all the time in what I call the expert sale. Whereas experts, we feel it's our job to prove ourselves. It's our job to educate the market and your prospects. Do not do that. That commoditizes you. That's what every other expert does. All they want to feel, your prospects want to feel, is do you care about them? Are they special? Can they trust you? And the only way to do that is to reimagine your process so you line up with what's in the back of their mind, not what's in the back of your mind. And that's what we teach in our one-call sale process. It's very unique. In fact, we patent pended our our process, now pending the patent office. And it's very special. And it's really comes a lot from my son, Toby, who has Down syndrome. And he taught me a lot about being honest, open people, transparent, and to stop selling, but to connect with people at a deep level. And we put a framework around that to make it easy to learn. But once you understand this, you'll never, ever go back the old way again, I promise. Okay, Steve, who do we have next?
All righty, we got Sam coming on. Sam, I'm not telling you what to do, man. I'm just gonna exit stage left. I know you know what to do.
Thanks, Steve. Hey, Ari, how you going? Business consulting, and very similar to, I've got a perfect question, and it leads into the other two gentlemen, which
Sure.
I get, I understand. Here's my question. What I'm noticing is that there's a level of a trend around impatience, and there's a trend around, as you said, people, no longer respect the authority, and they want to challenge you a lot, right? And they're in shopping mode. So my question is this, and it's consistent with the other two gentlemen. I get what you're saying, and I practice it. It's fantastic. Where I struggle sometimes is, how do you deal with the person that wants to resist the questions and don't really want to get on board? They don't like your diagnostic approach. They're basically saying, I don't care about that. Just tell me what I want, right? Tell me what I'm here to ask you about. Like in that gentleman's case, it could be a mortgage. He says, I need to know about that. So when you get that pushback where people don't want to comply with just the answering any questions that you have that you need to assess whether they're a fit or not, and you're trying to help them, right? So you can give me some guidance around that, and some of your wisdom around how to combat that.
So just for fun and a metaphor, what do you think a doctor would say if a patient came in and said to the doctor, my shoulder hurts, I need surgery, I need this medicine, and I need this, but no x-rays. Just give me that, please. So just for fun.
You'd say, well, what are you talking about? Are you kidding? I'm the doctor. You're not.
The doctor would say, I think you need something else for your mind because you're crazy up here.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what I feel like saying to some of these people. I feel like saying, you're on drugs? Like,
Of course. Okay. So I'm just playing around, but I want to make it clear for the audience that you have to keep your structure in your mind. You're the authority and they are not. Okay. They're going to try to hijack your agenda, Sam. They're going to try and come in there and command it and be the bull in the china shop because that's their way of feeling in control. That's their way of not feeling sold by you. That's their way of defending themselves, what they think is coming their way, which of course won't come their way because you and others in our world don't do those kind of things. But that's the market right now. They're coming in with their guard up. So our job is to bring their guard down so they can trust you, so they feel vulnerable and open enough to tell you the truth of what their real problem is. Because when they come in like that, they don't tell you the truth. They give you a small percentage of it when they trivialize the problem. And you got to guess and bob and weave and hope you get it right. And that's really dangerous to do that. Now, the way you make the shift with someone like that, I get this sometimes too. People say to me, Ari, what can you do for me? And the first thing my system does in my mind is I lower my voice. I take a deep breath and I stay calm. Because people like that are trying to get you to a higher intensity level to match their level. You got to calm them down. So when the guy says to me last week, what can you do for me? What I said to him was this: at this point, John, probably nothing. And he says, well, what do you mean? I said, I have no idea what I can do for you to the extent that I can until I understand the full landscape or 360 of your situation. It's unethical for me to provide any advice until I do a full 360 quick view of your situation. Would you be open to me asking you a couple questions first so I understand more about the context of your challenge, and we'll go from there? Would that be okay with you? Now, I said it like that, even softly like that to them, and he just calmed down because what I said to him was logical. It makes complete common sense. He's being emotional and commanding and directive and controlling, right? I can't help the patient if they aren't in patient mode. So our job is to help these people move into patient mode so we can do our job of diagnosing their problem and unpacking that issue. So if you get someone who comes to you like that, Sam, who you can tell right off the bat is just really directive and controlling, you just got to sit back, take a deep breath, and just explain to them why you cannot provide ethically any suggestions or ideas yet, because what you will, if you did that, most likely they would be inaccurate or incorrect because that you don't have the full picture of the situation and you don't work like that. Here's what you can say. You don't take shortcuts. You don't work like everybody else. And you have a process for how you get it done right the first time. You don't do any guessing at all based upon cursory information. And then you always say to them, would you be okay with that?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, that's perfect, Ari. I love it. I guess the question is, and you're going to love this one, right? What if someone still resists that point, which happens sometimes? They just ignore what I've said.
Then you say one more time, if you're not willing to allow me to understand you better and understand your situation so I can better diagnose it, I don't think I'm the best person for you.
That's a nice bold move. I like
There'll
that
be
one.
no, but notice my whole aura about me now. I'm backing away. I'm not confronting. See, he wants you or she wants you to confront them. That's a bully. Do not confront a bully, okay? Diffuse in this scenario, the situation, and they will back down. Now, if they don't back down, then exit them as soon as possible. If they do not comply with your process, they are not the ideal client. That's number one rule. You have a process. They've got to follow it. You'll give them one chance, maybe two, to adapt to your process. If they don't, show them the exit door.
Yeah, I think
Do
that's
not
it.
adapt to your prospects. That's the worst thing to ever do because they themselves need help articulating their own problem. And if you have the skill set that we have here, you know how to do that to impress them, the fact that you know them better than they know themselves. And that's what creates trust, because they respect you by not you selling to them, but by you understanding them better. That's what, you know, when you meet someone, a wife or husband or girlfriend, you say to yourself, she gets me. She's got me. That's what trust is. Not educating them, not persuading them, not becoming their friend. Does that help, Sam?
It does. I think that the hidden message I've gotten there, well, not the thing that stands out is to be able to let go and know that not everybody you can save, not everybody you can help. And I guess that's, you know, because part of my thinking is, well, why did you come on the call for? You know, well, why did you reach out to me? You know, like,
well, but don't forget what. Remember, we have to give them some empathy. Think about where they're coming from. They're coming from a sense of fear, and they're worried. They're concerned that you're going to be super sharp and persuade and convince them to do something that they want to do. That's what their perception is of you, not you in general, but you, any expert. They're assuming you're smarter than they are. You're going to use that against them to make that sale. That's what they're thinking in the back of their head, because that's how they got, you know, that's how it is out there for everybody else, but not people who are with us. So we're the niche here, right? We're the fractional group who does not operate that way. So when they get to you, you got to calm them down with our languaging and our approach, and then you got to unpack their situation and go what I call behind enemy lines and go deep inside their world and stay in there till they finally say this to you. How can you help me, Sam? You got to wait for that moment. That requires immense patience. And letting go of the sale and focusing on the truth. Once you make that mind shift, you should be converting everybody who complies with your process at that point, Sam.
Yeah. No, I love it, Ari. No, that makes total sense. You're right. I mean, I've got to think about it from their perspective. They're probably guarded, they're jaded, you know, they've had a lot of conversations with people, and some of them have even lost money, you know, unintended. So,
correct.
Be more aware of that.
A lot of this is about empathy and caring, understanding where they're coming from, and coming down a notch for them to feel that about you, that you're not out to make the sale.
Yeah. The biggest thing you said, Ari, the biggest thing I just took as a takeaway is the first part, is to not fall into it. Just be calm, relax, and that in itself will take the edge off the whole thing anyway.
You'd be amazed. That comes from Aikido training, where when you have an attacker coming your way, you don't resist the attack. You diffuse the attack. You step aside and you move them into a circle of the ground. Same concept, Sam. When you feel like you're in a call with someone and you feel resistance, don't let that catch you into you getting resist back. You got to let it go and let it go right past you. That way you can think clearly. Otherwise, what happens is you're not thinking, you're acting, and you're not seeing things 360. That's the black
goal
belt there.
That's the
That's
goal
the
there.
goal.
Ari. Thank you very much.
All right,
Well
so
done.
good to
Thank
see you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Steve, I think we're good to go. Unless anybody else is on, you can jump back in. But if not,
yes, we got one more. So Lily's coming on. So Bill works with his daughter Lily, so we're going to bring Lily Haggerty on. Hey, Lily,
Excellent.
How are you today? So
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing all right. You heard the deal when I said to your dad, we know where you guys are from, but I know you have another question to add into Ari, so I'm going to let you guys.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of what my dad asked, and you made a really good point, is like completely taking away from the fact-finding questions of not, like obviously not focusing on getting to know them. You want to get to know their problem, but when you are able to market towards a suit of people, whether they're a business owner, whether they're, high value, whether they're a small family, things like that, how do you, you have to get to know them in a sense. So how do you kind of balance that, taking away from the fact finding?
Well, you don't have to get to know them. Now, your whole industry has been taught to get to know the client at all levels as a way for them to feel that you care about them. Right. It's relationship building, traditional relationship building. Okay. But here's what I discovered. Real relationships take time. Lots of time.
Right.
If you end up doing that, like every other advisor in their first meeting, they've been through this game a few times, especially high net worth folks. They have advisors, they've met advisors, and they all do the same thing. So tell me about what brought you in today. What are some of your goals? Tell us a little about you. It's like it goes left and right and left and right. And then there's chemistry. Everyone feels good. And at the end, they want to think about it.
Right.
And you're like, what happened? We had good chemistry. I asked them all kinds of questions. And they want to go think about it. What the? Right? It's because we don't have a directed process for them to help them see the seriousness and the gravity and the priority of their situation. We have to be able to have a model and a process to help them see they're coming to you guarded. They're holding back and only giving you service level descriptions of their problems because they don't trust you enough to open up to you and say, here's what's really going on.
Right.
My wife and I are about to divorce. We got lots of money in my 401k plan. I'm not sure they just won't they don't know you well enough to do that. But your job is to allow that to occur in that one meeting using this trust-based languaging and helping them see the seriousness and priority of their situation and the economic or emotional impact of not solving their problem.
Yeah.
You want them to own it, and you're going to say to them at the end, is this a priority for you?
Yeah. To
address and resolve once and for all. So you can finally get this off your plate, take care of your family, and move on. And I'm okay if it's not. It's not a close. It's just the truth. You want them to own it first, then they're going to say to you, yeah, you're right. It's a problem. We want to work on it. Then you can onboard them with what we call a roadmap we develop as a new client right there and then. But you got to stay focused and lock into their problem. If you start to go sideways or zigzag around and other stuff like that, they go off the ski trail in the forest and you'll lose them.
Yeah.
So it requires us to be more directed, more focused, so that when they come in to see you, it's not the same as the other advisors they have.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of beating around the bush. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what most people advisors do. Tell us about what your goals. What are you trying to achieve? Give us. It's like, oh God, they've been this 100 times. Really, they just want someone to focus on their problem.
Got it.
But it's a shift in mindset. It really is for folks who've been around a long time in the industry who are used to the old. Nice to meet you. It's like, oh God, they know it's a sales thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, that helped. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Lily.
Nice to meet you.
All right. That'll wrap up our show for today. And hopefully lots of folks listening are getting some notes, shifting their thinking around this, and most importantly, letting go of the old way of thinking, because the world has changed, as you all know. If you're still using the old mindset, selling the old way, doing free education, trying to become their friend, and allowing the meetings to go zigzag and left and right, and then they drop off and you chase them, you're on a losing game. So you got to upgrade your whole thinking and have structure to help people see they can trust you in one meeting. On that note, if you don't have our latest book yet, just go to arigalper.com and you can grab a copy on the homepage there and schedule a time to have a chat with us as well. That's the latest one called Are You Chasing Ghosts? And also my one before that, which is also very popular, which is called Trust in a Split Second. On that note, we'll say goodbye. Have a great day.
I've come up with a way to totally eradicate this whole idea of rejection in sales. If it's over at hello, how the heck are you going to succeed in selling? You've got to rise above that and change your mindset.